Champagne soon. Hello, welcome. I'm Dawn Salerno, Executive Director of the Roach Jones Duff House and Garden Museum, and you're about to experience Mystery at the Mansion. First, I want to thank you for your patience. We did have a little technical difficulty, but isn't that just what we've all gotten used to? I am coming to you from our Mansion of Mystery at 396 County Street in New Bedford. If you're not familiar with us, please come visit the museum and grounds. We are open and you can find more information on our Facebook page. Tonight, I am grateful for two things. One, that I never had to act a part in this tour of the macabre. We got professionals for that. And two, that you are all joining me here for this museum from home experience. After all, what else do we have to do on a Friday night these days? If this is your first virtual event, here's a little 101. No one can see you. This is not a Zoom, so you can change into that fleece onesie right now. If you do want to be seen, please take a selfie of your watch party, your friends, yourself, and post it in the live feed tonight. This is a live broadcast, meaning you are seeing it for the first time with everyone else tuned in presently. You can also interact with people at this virtual party by using the comments, the reaction buttons, and we do hope you will. So I do want to thank our sponsors for tonight's event. You saw some of them in the slides earlier. Sylvia Group, Diana Henry Realty, Howe Allen Realty, and South Coast Health. These corporate sponsors recognize the value of giving back within their own community, and we thank them for that commitment to local impact. Thanks also to Howe Allen, not only a sponsor, but a great help in connecting us with great ideas and the performers for tonight. He is the one who introduced us to local theater group, The Collective. Thanks are due to them and the performers you will see tonight, also in the slides. Tim Evans, Betty Fabian, Jody Heights, Paul Isaac, Nick LeBlanc, Stephanie LeBlanc, Kevin Mitchell, and Sarah Mulvey. And let's not forget, lest they become angry, the spirits who inhabit 396 County Street. The RJD has many committees that help supplement the work of our 3 full-time and 2 part-time staff, and I want to thank our events committee, Howe Allen, Brenda Dias, Ann Heller, Diana Henry, and Laura Parrish. My final thank you is to the RJD staff. Blair Walker and Rick Finneran helped stage the museum and dress the actors. And thanks to the tireless efforts of Membership and Events Coordinator Jessica Serpa, we have tonight's production. I can now add filmographer, editor, key grip, set designer, and special effects to her job description. So cuddle up with that spiced apple cocktail that we posted the recipe of earlier this week, and please enjoy the show.
Oh, hello! It's you! Welcome! Welcome to the Roach Jones Duff House, located here in New Bedford, Massachusetts, on the corner of County and Madison. This home was designed by Richard Upjohn and built in 1834. This Greek revival home has 12,480 square feet and it houses 42 rooms. So there's a lot to see. Now, you're probably wondering who I am, but that doesn't matter, because my name is neither Roach, nor Jones, nor Duff. But please, come in, come in, come in. This is the front hall with the grand staircase. Now, the staircase has been treacherous to some. You see, one of the family's pets, it was either a cat or a dog, fell through this banister and broke its leg. Some say you can still... Oh, hello! It's you! Welcome! Welcome to the Roach Jones Stuff House, located here in New Bedford, Massachusetts, on the corner of County and Madison. This home was designed by Richard Upjohn and built in 1834. This Greek revival home has 12,480 square feet and it houses 42 rooms. So there's a lot to see. Now, you're probably wondering who I am, but that doesn't matter, because my name is neither Roach, nor Jones, nor Duff. But please, come in, come in, come in. This is the front hall with the grand staircase. Now, the staircase has been treacherous to some. You see, one of the family's pets, it was either a cat or a dog, fell through this banister and broke its leg. Some say you can still see its ghost. But it was a source of a lot of fun for a lot of the children who were known to fly all the way down the banister, landing on their bums right here at the bottom. This is a beautiful parquet floor, which is throughout most of the house. And the wallpaper is still original from when the Duffs were here. So please, come in, take a look.
You want a sip? No, I'll take it. Well, let me tell you a story. You like stories at least? Okay. You heard of the County Street Strangler before? Years ago now. There was murders that were happening all around this property. There was even fires that went on downtown. But nobody knew who was killing. always was the same. It was a pretty girl, they'd find her, her neck would be all bent out of shape, her eyes blue, her skin blue, covered in dirt. For a while, some people thought, maybe somebody who worked here was doing it, because they would find the bodies laying not too far from here. But then after a while, they sort of realized that it wouldn't make any sense at all for a person to just throw the body next to where they worked or lived. You know what I mean? So the cops, they were looking around, and they had some scientist or something looked at their necks, and he said, at first I thought it was a rope or something. And the cop was like, how could it be a rope? It just had to be somebody with really big, strong hands, and he would just find a pretty girl on the street, And I mean, if I was to think about it, maybe he just thought that they would want to be with him or something, Like he would just sort of say, hey lady, you looking for someone to be with? And of course, if it was like a simple guy who had like a regular job or something, they would never want to be like, with someone like him. So I bet, if I had to guess, I bet that they will start walking, and he could just like creep up behind them, and like, he had big hands, supposedly. That's what this scientist or something said. And he would just go up, and I would grab their shoulders, and I would just pull them right towards me, and I would hug them, because I remember when I was a kid, my mom would hug me, and I liked that. And so I thought, maybe she would like that too. And so I would start hugging her, and I'd be hugging her, and I'd take my hand and I'd just put it on her neck, and I would just start squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and then I would just watch their face, and they couldn't really talk or nothing, because they'd be choking, I don't know, maybe they would, I don't know. What are you doing tonight?
And now we find ourselves in the rear parlor. Parlors, just like this one, were used throughout the 19th century for a variety of purposes, mainly entertaining guests, informal meetings, a wedding, theatricals, and even funerals. But by the 1920s, this room was described as the music room. It always was filled with great artwork, and it always, since then, it had a piano. There's a picture even here of Amelia Jones sitting at her piano right in this very spot. If you close your eyes and you listen very, very carefully, you can almost hear the music. moving through the pocket doors from the rear parlor into where you are, the front parlor. This room was used for much more formal occasions. They would shut the pocket doors off from the music room or the rear parlor and have their meetings here. But every now and then, an event was so big that you needed both parlors, such as Mr. Roach's funeral, which they say so many people came, friends and relatives, to mourn that they needed all this space. Some people say that every now and then you can still see a mourner here in the room.
Can't believe I gotta do this again. Sick of telling fortunes. They don't pay me enough for this in this place. Not even real anyways. Been doing this for 20 years. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. Waste not, want not, right? You know, something different about you. I don't think you're from around here. I'm getting feelings about you right off the bat, you know? Was your aunt's name Lucille? Did she work at the general store downtown? I think she did. But there are more things about you that I already feel kind of come into my mind, you know? When I look at you in those eyes, they're very, very interesting. I feel like your great-great-grandfather's name was George. Yes, I can see it clearly. I can see him. He's holding a pitchfork, and I think he must have been a farmer. Is that right? I knew it was. Got a talent for this. I've been doing it for 15 years or something like that, you know? So I'll do a little reading for you today. More of a general reading, or is there something on your mind? No? All right, we'll do just a traditional reading for you here. Let's see. Ooh. All right, we have the Seven of Cups. Very interesting, the Seven of Pentacles. Look at him. Reminds me of your great-grandfather George. And the Four of Pentacles. How regal. Yes, these are very, very interesting. They mean a lot of things, but something doesn't feel right. Something different about you. You know, a lot of people don't come by my shop anymore. You know, after the murders took place, they don't want to come around here anymore because they're scared, but you scare me. You know, it feels like, honestly, since you came in here, like the table is on fire, like something bad is gonna happen. It feels like, honestly, there's something on the table. There's something burning. Oh my God! Did you do this? Did you mess with my cards when I wasn't looking, when I was having a little bit to drink? Oh my God. Oh, get away, leave!
Welcome. It's Dawn again. We had an intermission scheduled for this moment, but since you basically had an intermission at the start, we're gonna mush on. So Mystery at the Mansion will continue in just a few minutes. I hope you've enjoyed so far. You must stay tuned because some of the best is yet to come. As a nonprofit focused on the interpretation of our past, the Roach Jones Duff House and Garden Museum tells the history of the area and even the nation But we're also making history tonight by running our first ever virtual fundraiser. Can you tell this is our first time? I'm sure you can. We know you paid for your ticket tonight, and that ticket fee supported basically the production of this. We're using a couple of platforms that we have to pay for, so thank you for that. My request to you now, should you want to support the museum's work into the future, is about connectivity. Where would we be during the pandemic without the internet, right? We sure wouldn't be here. Think of all the ways you've connected with each other and your favorite places since we've been forced to limit our in-person activities, and how much cool stuff is online now. Like so many, RJD converted to virtual programming and online content, and you can now attend performances, lectures, and exhibition tours from the safety of your own home. But when it's safe to gather again for parties and programs, and we will, we're also not going back. The same way we felt the imperative to open our doors at the RJD after our statewide shutdown, and we were one of the first cultural organizations in New Bedford to do so, we feel the same imperative to give greater access to the museum virtually. For example, we could stream our very popular parlor concerts with New Bedford Symphony Orchestra musicians. Otherwise, those concerts are limited to the 40 people that can fit in our parlors, which are lovely, but we could expand that access. As we did this past September, we could continue to live cast our annual meeting so our members and donors in Seattle, North Carolina, and Oregon can attend. Where our in-person meeting could number 70 on a good day, a live stream might reach all 500 of our members and donors. Or how about providing guest internet access while in the building? Inside the house, visitors could pull up additional educational information about the things they were looking at, or someone unable to climb the stairs to our second floor could take a virtual tour instead, using a virtual tour app on their phone. We actually have a platform we will be uploading information to this winter. Platform is even free. We just need the connectivity to the internet. On the grounds, couples getting married could live stream their event to friends in New Zealand. Imagine if you could expand your wedding guest list without the additional cost of catering, right? Our board is on board. Now all we need is the infrastructure. So we ask you tonight to donate to our connectivity campaign to help support the costs of high-speed internet and all the platforms that bring this programming to you, and hopefully those hundreds and thousands of new visitors. If you experienced any freeze frames tonight, that's not you, that's us, okay? The builders of this house were not concerned with internet in 1834. For the geeks out there, we have an upload speed of 1 Mbps on a good day. To do what we need to do, we need to install fiber optic cable. Basically, the property needs to be excavated to bury the cable, leaving the beauty of our historic landscape unchanged. And we're not just thinking of next year, we're really getting the best we can get so that the museum is set up for many years to come and many visitors to come. Our cost for this will be about $11,000 a year, but our audiences are worth it. Our donors are worth it. Our board, who normally have to travel from New York or Boston, are worth it. And you are worth it. You are why we do what we do. So please, I believe we have a PayPal link coming up in the feed. If you don't see it immediately, you'll see it shortly. You can donate any amount towards the connectivity campaign. And I do want to mention that 2 very kind and generous RJD board members have agreed to match your gift up to $500. So that means your gift of $50 turns into $100. So isn't that wonderful? If you'd rather send a check, we take those too. We are historical after all, so we even accept ancient forms of payment like checks and cash. For those of you in a position to help our efforts, thank you for considering us. And know that with your support, you will find us here, online, and at 396 County Street for at least another 180 years. And now, I think he's there. I'd like to turn it over to an RJD board member and event sponsor, Howe Allen. And now, I think he's there. I'd like to turn it over to an RJD board member
Hello, can everyone hear me? My name is Hal Allen. I'm a trustee for the Roach Jones Duff House and Museum. I'm also a supporter of this great cultural treasure in beautiful New Bedford, Massachusetts. The Roach Jones Duff House Museum is more than just a house museum. It is truly much more than that. Our curators preserve and display interesting memorabilia from a bygone era. It is a place of learning for our South Coast youth and a beautiful venue for special events from wedding receptions to garden parties. As with many nonprofits, due to the current pandemic, our fall fundraiser has gone virtual. But like a scary movie or an Edgar Allan Poe tale, this event suits the season perfectly and is sure to set the scene for your All Hallows Eve celebrations. A heartfelt thanks to those who came together to produce this event. I am humbled by your talent. Our next performance is by none other than my sister-in-law, Jody Heights. Sit back, wrap yourself in a blanket, and turn up your volume to fully enjoy our next performance. And thank you for supporting the Roach Jones Duff House.
Have you seen the ghost of John? Long white bones with the rest all gone. Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Have you seen the ghost of John? Have you seen the ghost of John? Long white bones with the rest all gone. Have you seen the ghost of John? Have you seen the ghost of John? Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin on? Wouldn't it be chilly with no Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin? No skin. Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin? Wouldn't it be? Have you seen the ghost of John? Long white bones with the rest all gone. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be chilly with Wouldn't it be chilly with no skin
Welcome to Edward Coffin Jones's bedroom. This has seen many uses over the time of the three families. It has been Edward Coffin Jones's bedroom. It has been a nursery or nursery chamber. The Duffs used it as a guest bedroom. But it was written in 1846 that one, while shaving, could look out this window and see the ships coming in through the harbor. What a sight that must have been during the time of whaling.
The besuited mother of Hubert's collected fall. Her husband left Gula Flibberts even before the baby was weaned. She went out to work as a charwoman to support herself and Florabelle. She felt there never had been such a beautiful child. It struck her how ravishing she would look in a costume of white bunny fur. As she could save enough to afford each of them, she bought a tam, mittens, a coat with a little cape, a necklet, booties, and to complete the ensemble, a muff with a cord. The first coolish day of autumn, she dressed Florabelle in them all. She left her outside the greengrocer's to be admired by passers-by. A pack of wild dogs came around the corner, heading for the butcher's. They tore everything, including Florabelle, to pieces. The idle distance. The fall of 1823 on Weevil Biscuit Island, Maine, Amelia Edna Huckabee was in excruciating pain. She lay in a four-poster bed, the paper mismatched on the wall. She feared that soon she would be dead and wondered if the grave were all. She looked out to the rock-bound bay on which the fog lay cold and thick. After she ate, to her dismay, she frequently was taken sick. Her husband Seth do what he would, which was to go to any length. It sadly somehow seemed he could not nurse her back to health and strength. There lived with them his nephew Ben, his sister Ada's youngest child, who by the time that he was 10 had been repeatedly defiled. The doctor came, the doctor went, prescribing solitary kelp. Each visit she appeared more spent, until she was beyond all help. Disturbances perturbed the night, went on as the day succeeded day. Falsetto screams and lurid lights were seen and heard from miles away. She said, "I've never felt so tired. My hands and feet are growing numb." And then she silently expired. The dawn was just about to come. An unknown woman hung with veils clung close to Seth. Though while she gave a series of unhinging wails, the coffin slid into the grave. The neighbors stood around in knots and whispered underneath their breath. They conjured up all sorts of plots, accounting widely for her death. The cause of it was quickly traced, beyond all ifs and ands and buts. Her food had been thrice daily laced with juice distilled from Fubi nuts. Seth added padding to his chest and stays to make his belly flat, while Ben was perfumed, rouged, and dressed in ruffles and a picture hat. To those who went in their pursuit, they gave for good and all. The slip embarked upon a weekend toot they stowed away aboard a ship. The missing couple reached Peru, where they set up as man and wife. Seth lived till he was 82, and Ben has not left this life. The misfortunate offspring. Oh dear, a big black passing dog has dropped a baby in the bog. The situation's rather dire. The wildie's sinking in the mire. It seems there isn't any hope unless someone procures a rope. Who's that? He's dragged out just in time, drenched though he be in mucky slime. From spatted head to oozy toes, they souse him with the garden hose. They plunge him in a steaming tub, subject him to a thorough scrub. They rinse him off, and by he's taken out and toweled dry. How sweet! He toddles through the door in freshly laundered pinafore. He joins the family for tea, allowed to sit on father's knee. He is permitted to take a slice of cook's persimmon cake. The other children drift away to bash each other at croquet. Soon mother thinks of something missed and goes to put it on a list. Now father hears a telephone, the baby being left alone. Oh, fee, a passing dog again has dropped the baby in the fen. Now there's a tough day for the baby, twice, dropped in the mud in the fen. There's a madman running free. There's a madman running free. Shut your eyes so you won't see. There's a madman running free. There's a madman on the loose. There's a madman on the loose. Put his neck up in a noose. There's a madman on the loose. There's a madman in my head. There's a madman in my head, and soon he will be dead. There's a madman on my head. There's a madman running free. There's a madman running free, causing destruction that you can see. There's a madman running free. There's a madman on the ground. There's a madman on the ground. Fallen, and he will be found. There's a madman on the ground. There's a madman in my head. There's a madman in my head, causing turmoil I cannot shed. There's a madman in my head. There's a madman running free. There's a madman running free, and I pray to death to set me free. There's a madman running free.
Now we find ourselves in the kitchen. Here, you can see the stove, which was installed in 1872, and it started off as a wood-burning stove. All the meals were cooked here in the cooler months. In the warmer months, there was a second kitchen, the summer kitchen on a lower, cooler part of the house. From here, the food would be transported to different floors in the house via the dumbwaiter, which the children of the families got lots of enjoyment out of as well. Much like the banister, they would ride it up and down to different floors. But now, in its current uses to gift shop, it houses many wares made by local artisans. And when you come, you should end your visit here. Check it all out.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, and then the charm is firm and good.
Herman Melville said that the gardens in New Bedford appeared to be pulled up by harpoons from the sea. And the garden here at the Roach Jones Stuff House is one of those gardens. Now, through all three families, it was a thread that bind them. They went through many different iterations, but all three families took pride in their garden. And we have done that again today. We've planted over 300 rose bushes here in our garden. You should come by and see it on a nice day. It's truly beautiful.
In the season leaves should love, since it gives them leave to move through the wind, towards the ground, They were watching while they hung. Legend says there is a seam, stitching darkness like a name. Now when dying grasses veil earth from the sky in one last pale wave, as autumn dies to bring winter back, and then the spring, we who die ourselves can peel back another kind of veil that hangs among us like thick smoke. Tonight at last I feel it shake. I feel the nights stretching away, thousands long behind the days, till they reach the darkness where all of me is ancestor. I move my hand and feel a touch move with me, and when I brush my own mind against another, I am with my mother's mother. Sure as footsteps in my waiting self I find her, and she brings arms that carry answers for me, intimate, awaiting bounty. Carry me. She leaves this trail through a shutter of the veil, and leaves like amber where she stays, a gift for her perpetual gaze.
Well, that will do it for our short tour today. There are many, many more rooms to see here in the Roach Jones Stuff House, and many more things to learn about its past. And you can do that. You can schedule a tour. Just call them at the Roach Jones Stuff House and pick a date. But thank you so much for coming by today, and thank you for your time. Everybody, be safe.
Thank you, everyone. That is our show. And if you want to join me, I will be opening this right now. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks again to our sponsors and our actors. Thanks again to Jessica Broder, who was the producer, director, editor of this wonderful movie that you saw. And parts of it will be available on YouTube in the future. So you can watch it again at a future date. So take care, be well, and thanks for joining us.